Okay, hello everyone. It's Gary from HOLOWITS. Today, it's my honor to give this presentation, introduce about the HOLOWITS S200, about the installation and the delivery. Today, we'll take around 20 to 40 minutes to introduce about the installation. Okay, as we all know that S300 has two kinds of product type. First is about the unified device, which integrates the software and the hardware. And then we have the S300-S, that is the pure software version. So today we're just introduce about the integrated device, which means that it's more easily. And the device will contain the hardware and software. If you have any question, you can just write your questions in the chat group. And after the introduction, I will answer your question one by one. Thank you. Okay, when you get the device and unpack the device, you will get the material like this. First is about the HOLOWITS S200 server. And this is the parameter. And next one, you will get the software clients, the client software. In the client software should be installed on your PC or workstation. In the requirement here is listed here. In the RAM is around 8 gigabits or above. In the hard disks should be 120 GB SSD. In of course, this kind of the PC or laptop should be provided by the end user. And one more network switch is less rate and should be provided by our end user. Here is the appearance of the hardware for S300. And
sorry
this
for
is
the interruption, Gary. Your screen is froze.
Okay. Okay, let me introduce from the first page. Here is what we get after we unpack the box. We get the S300 server. This is the unified hardware and software, and the HOLOWITS S300 client software. And the client software is built in the server. And maybe it's in the hard disk D or in the desktop. Later, I will introduce about the details. But the PC or the workstation should be provided by the end user. There is some parameters required to install the S200 client software. And also, one more network switch is required because we need to connect the ML 800 or IBS 1800. Okay, here we get the appearance of S200 hardware. It has the interface information as listed here. It has the USB, two USB and reset button, and also the LAN interface and HDMI VGA. Here we need some precondition to show that the SDC, MR800, and IBS 1800 should collide with the S200 to get the preview and recording. Of course, the decoder we list is compatible with the S200, but it's not the mandatory for today's demonstration. Here's the network architecture for today's demo, or the application we use in the projects. And we can see that the SDC will access to MR800 or IBS 1800, and then the decoder is collects with the S200 through the level switch. In the S200 is on the headquarters or the monitoring center, and one of the monitor is required in the security center. For the installation of S200, there's some preparation for the network environment, such as that the camera should connect to the network switch and power up. In also connect the MR800 or the IBS 1800 to the network switch and power up. And also add the camera to MR800 or IBS 1800 to make sure that once we access MR800 or IBS 1800, then we'll get the live view of the cameras. And also, number 3, the decoder is not necessary. If you have one in your project, you need to make sure the decoder connects to the network switch and power up. And make sure that all of the device should be in the same network segment. And then connect the S200 server and power up. And then, okay, this is the rough steps about the the network environments. Okay, let's go to the details. First is about the IP address information setting for the S300 server. As we introduced just now, the S300 server should configure the IP address subnetwork and the default gateway with semi-network environments, such as non-network environments with MR800 or IBS 1800. Okay, this is the information of the network connection details for S200 server. It should be the same network segment as the server and MR800 in IBS 1800. Okay, and next step, we should turn off the system firewall and the various software. Here, antivirus software, we should turn off. And then we need to check and confirm that the S200 client server is connected to the server network. The client and the server should be the same network. And then install the client software in here, as I've mentioned in the slide 2, that the client should be installed
on the PC, on the operator's PC or on the workstation, um, which requires a hardware configuration, which I've just listed in the slides too. In here, the client software. You will get the client software on the S300 server. It's generally it will be in the hard disk D. When we copy out the S300 client software to the PC, to your PC or to the client workstation, we'll just install the software as we usually do for the another software installation. Just next, and then we are finished. Okay, here's the interface that have already finished the install here in where in there are two kinds of next step is about login. For the login mode, there are two kinds of the modes. First is about the local area network login, and also it support the public network login. But for public network login, there are some port mapping or the DMZ setting, which I will introduce later. Okay, here I like to use about the local network login as an example for today's demo. In here, we are need to snap the field field the server IP address as we have just said before, and snap the VMS network type as a local area network. If we log in through the public network, we'll choose here the VMS net type as a public network. And number 3, then we'll log in with the admin user. The default username and password is admin and 1234556. Then we are successfully log in the client software. Okay, here's the here's the layout of the main interface. We got the video, alarm, and configure, and also the operation models. And next step, we'll add the EMEA 800 to S300. And there are some restrictions or some software reminder here. And for first is about the EMEA 800 web client. Actually the web client is disabled by default. If necessary, please set it open. Let's say that the EMEA 800 device support the user single thing sign on. In why I put it here for the admin user, because we need to use the admin user of EMEA 800 to access to S300, which I will introduce later. And actually, after we use the admin user to access to S300, after logging successfully, the S300 will create a new non-admin user instead of admin user. And then the admin user will be free for another point to sign on for another application. Okay, in then we are set a password, and it will automatically after we access the EMEA 800 to S300, the cameras attached to EMEA 800 will be automatically displayed on S300. Okay, here's the steps introduction about the EMEA 800 access to add to S300. Here we are filling in the actual IP address of EMEA 800 and ports the default port is 443, and the username will need to use the admin user. In here, the words with the red color, I make it a new user, leave CSV. It's displayed in the user list of HOLOWITS EMEA 800 sites. What does this mean? As I have just mentioned, that the EMEA 800 just support the single point logon. So after we use the admin user to add the EMEA 800 in S200, then the S200 will create a new user that is live CSV to instead of the admin user. Then the admin user will be free for another application or another login. But for IBS 1800, we need to create a long admin user to access to S200. The long admin user should be created in the web client of IBS 1800. That is to say, the admin user of IBS 1800 is not recommended to log in to add in S200. Okay, this is a 2 point. We need to make it clear. Okay, and this is IBS 1800 device add. Okay, here this should be long admin user. The port is 18531. Okay, after we add the device EMEA 800 or IBS 1800 to S300, the cameras attached to the two devices will be automatically displayed on the live video of S300 software clients. And it also suffer the basic, yeah, this is the example of the video playback. Okay, now we have already finished the access of the installation of S300 server and also the client software installation. And then we have finished the action of add the EMEA 800 or IBS 1800 to the S300 client software. And we'll get the live view or the playback in S300. So next one, I will introduce about the remote visiting of S300. This is because that some of our partners or the end user has a requirement to visit the S300 remotely, which means that, but now the S200 is designed for the network visiting. If we want to visit from remote sites through the public network, what should we do? There are two methods here. First is the firewall through port method. And as we know that this method is used to map all of the ports related to S300 to the public network. And we can see there is a Excel file list here. When we open it, you will get all of the ports that are related to the business of S300. Yeah, the quantity of the ports is not less. So for the first method, we need to mapping all of these ports to the public network. But actually, this kind of LAN access model is not recommended because when when we expose our exposure one of the ports to the public network, there will be some network risky. Yeah, the port are listed here. Okay, this is the method 1, and the method 2 is about the DMZ method. I would like to use the Cisco router configuration as a example. Okay, here I'd like to share another slide, another page.
Hi, Gary. Gary, your microphone is turned off. You need to turn on your microphone first.
How about now? Hello?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I will introduce from the beginning of this web page. Okay, this link I've already attached to the slides, and we'll get the uh, Cisco route settings about the DMZ as an example. And here we go directly to the configure private DMZ policy. So why is DMZ? DMZ is to use the DMZ in this picture is about the yellow color, and one side is private network and another side is about the public network. When you put the DMZ device to DMZ, DMZ is the half trust network. It's not the full trust network. That means when we have the DMZ area, the device in the DMZ has various influence risk in but we can visit the device in the DMZ from the private network and the public network. Yeah. So the detailed steps to configure the DMZ, it has the 4 steps as is listed here. Of course, different router from different manufacturer, there are different setting and configuration steps. We need to get know about the maybe from the manufacturer or the technical support of the different brands of the routers. Here we just take the Cisco device as an example. Okay. Let me back to the slides. Okay, actually, these two methods that support the visiting from the public network to the S300, it means that both of the two methods has a risk to exposure our S300 server to the public network and get influenced by the virus. But at present, we didn't have a better way to provide visiting from the public network. Okay, and my suggestion is that if we want to configure about the public network visiting to S300, we suggest that you need to involve your professional network engineer from your self side or from the route manufacturer side, such as the technical support to finish the configuration. And you need to get known about the risk to exposure your S200 ports or the S200 device, the network to the public network environments. Okay, there's some risk you need to get known about that. Okay, this is a basic introduction about the slides. In next, then I will introduce, I will show some demo. Okay, can you see my screen and hear my voice? Hi, Elaine. Can
Yes,
you hear
I'm
me?
here. Yeah, we can see your screen and we
Uh,
also can hear you.
Okay. Here's a demo about the actual installation and delivery method steps about the S300. Okay. Here, this is the product after powering up of S300 server, and we enter into the operating system. In first step, we need to close the firewall or the antivirus software. Okay, next step is about the IP address settings. And here we use the following IP address, which the IP address should be the non-IP address, which should be with the same IP address segment for the camera with the camera IPS 1800 or the ML 800. Here, the IP address, subnet mask, and also the default gateway should be mandatory. And DNS is optional. Then we'll check about the network status. First, we'll pin the router, network router. And then we're pin about the existing network existing device. The 211 is about maybe the camera IP address, and 113 is IP address of IBS 1800. Okay, now the network is good performance. Okay, and we are finished about the network environment setting. Then we'll get the client software. Here, I like to make it clear that here in the demo, the client software is stored in the will be built in the hard disk D, and to make this demo, we are just install the client software in the S200 server. But in our actual application, we need to copy out the software here, the S300, the HOLOWITS S300 here, and attach the dates here. We need to copy this exe software to your PC or to your workstation and install. Okay. Here we just install in the S200 server as an example. Okay, this is the install process, just like what do we install? Any kinds of the software. Okay, this is the login interface of S300 client software. Okay, we fill in the IP address of your the S200 server. And username and password for the first login is admin default username admin and password 1234556. Okay, we're into the portal of the main portal of S200 client software. We have the video alarm config and maintenance models. Okay, next step is just add the device EMEA 800 or IPS 1800 to S200 client software. Here, system settings, we click in that if the it's collect the if the S200 server and the PC or the workstation and the EMEA 800 the camera and IPS 800 are in the same network segment. Here, after we click search, the device will be listed here automatically. But we need to select the device type, the IPC, MBR, or IPS. We need to select the device type firstly. Okay, here we get the device here. And if we want to add the device, we need to fill out the port. Usually it will fill in automatically, and we fill the username and password. Here we use this one as the IBS 1800, for example. You see the first name, the first time we use the admin, but it's not the right operation. I'd like to remind you that with the user of admin, it's not suggested. And I bet that the operator here will be modified to a non-admin user. Let us check. Okay, so maybe the admin user has been already logging in another place. Okay, let us change to another non-admin user. We use another non-admin user, user 001. The password may be the same with admin user. Okay, we add here. Okay, here the IP 113, we have already add the device to S300, and then the SDC, the cameras, which has already access to the NVIDIA, the IPS 1800 has already been displayed here automatically. And then we go to the live view interface and we'll check off the camera automatically. Okay, bingo, we make it. Of the view is displayed here. And then we'll check the playback functions here. Yeah. If you want to check more about the configuration, you can check the user manual. In here, I like to make a comment that for the if you want to add the NVIDIA 800 to S200 client software, you need to use the admin user. It's yeah, it's totally different with IPS 1800. Yeah, at this point I have just make emphasis in the slides. Yeah, for MR 800, we need to use the admin user to add in the S300. For IPS 1800, we need to use the non-admin user to add in the S300. Okay, and this is all the content for this training. If you okay, let me check what's your question listed in the chatting group. It's a front in the view, front view of the S300. Actually, picture it seems blurred intentionally. No, it's not intentionally. Okay, it's just kind of the normal server, Mr. Arjun. Why system firewall and the antivirus should be disabled? Because you know that if it's open, the device will be take as the unsafety factors. For example, if you want to the server S200 server didn't install the antivirus software inside of the server. This is the first one. In the second one is because that as I have show you just now, that there are two methods to exposure your S200 server to the public network. That means if you want to visit your network, the S300 remotely, you need to open your S300 port to the public network. This definitely big risks, bigger risks. So, yeah, we need to close the firewall and antivirus software. Another one is about how many IVS 1800 can I add at most on S200. Actually, it's not the device of IVS 1800 or NVIDIA 800 quantity limitation for S300, but the channel access to S300 is limited. The most of the free free channel access to S300 is 256 channels. 256 channels are free in from 353 channel to 10,000 channel. You need to pay the extra license. So the maximum accessibility for S2 one set of the S300 server is 10,000. Not the quantity of IBS 1800 or NVIDIA 800. Okay, so if any other one, you have more question today? Yeah, it's a free discussion time here. Okay, if you don't have more questions today, please let me to introduce about our schedule of next, the Thursday training contains for March days. And the third training will be around 21st of this month. In that training, the same time, we are introduced about the new released HOLOWITS products, such as IBS 1800, which is the big storage volume. And the hard disks can be up to 30 40 hard disks will be equipped in one set of IBS 2800. In the maximum of the channels can be accessed to one set of IBS 2800 is around 2000, which means that if you have the big projects, the huge amount of the cameras access to the IBS 2800, yeah, it's a good choice. It's not maybe the big projects or the big SMB projects are preferred for the IBS 2800. Okay, this is the first one, and another one is that we are the bracket and also the tester, which is used for the site survey for the SI or the integrators. Deployment from the outside deployment of the CCTV systems, we can use a tester. Okay, this is the forecast for the next training time, the 21st of this month. Okay, if there is no more question, we are finished today's training.
Well, thank you everyone to join us today. And if you have more questions, you can also send the question to our support email address, which is support@holowits.com. And also welcome everyone come to our HOLOWITS official website to join the certification exam. And that's all for today's training. Thank you next time.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.